Hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for everything Royal Caribbean related. RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. We are back home this week after a fantastic cruise on Wonder of the Seas for spring break, and I'm here to answer your Royal Caribbean cruise questions. Let me know in the chat what questions I can answer for you, starting with the most important question. How many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Have your countdown in chat. We'll count down together. My next cruise is not until June. I don't know about that, but right now that's where it's sitting. My next cruise is on the Liberty of the Seas, going to Bermuda. First time for me to Bermuda since like 2019. So pretty excited for that. But I'm even more excited to talk Royal Caribbean with all of you guys. Obviously, we were on Wonder last week, and I love being on a cruise, but doing these live broadcasts on cruise ships is tough. There's noise to contend with. There's music to contend with. The audio never sounds as good as I want it to be. It's hard to read the chat. Anyway, we're back home. We're back in the studio. We got the easy button on, and I'm here to answer as many Royal Caribbean cruise questions as possible. I'm giving you some top high-quality answers, not like the other weeks in which they've been lame-o answers. These are the best answers coming to you guys this week. So strap on in and let me answer your cruise questions, starting with some amazing super chats even before the broadcast began. Tyler Jones. Tyler, thank you for the super chat earlier. My wife, family photographer, is considering offering family photo sessions while on the ship. Is this allowed by Royal? What steps, if any, does she need to get approval before sailing? So if your wife wants to take photos, Tyler, of like your family, like, hey, guys, let's all take photos together, and your wife is the photographer, no problem at all. That's not a problem. The only time you get in trouble is if it looks like a wedding. That's not allowed. So nobody wearing a wedding dress and a groom, anything like that. But you want to take family photos, and your wife is a professional photographer, that's fine. Now, when I'm reading this comment, it says considering offering family photo sessions, like your wife isn't like soliciting sales on board, right? She's not sitting in the corner and like, hey, I'll take your photo for $20. Like, that's not allowed. Hope that makes sense. MJ, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Matt. Thanks for all you do. Going on Oasis for Easter this Sunday. Hang on, guys. I'll get back to the question in a second. There it is. We have 3 8-year-olds in the group. Mariano, Darko, and Giancarlo. Can you tell them what to try on Oasis? They will see this Saturday. All right, Mariano, Darko, and Giancarlo are going on Oasis of the Seas. First of all, you got to do the laser tag on board. That is super fun. Karaoke, this family karaoke offered in Spotlight Karaoke, a lot of fun. Water slides. You guys got to race each other down the water slides. Whoever gets down to the bottom first, have your parents time it, is the winner and gets more ice cream. How about that? Michael Bond, thank you for the super chat. 20 days till our first 2-bedroom grand suite. Do we need to pay gratuities in Coastal Kitchen? No, that's part of your general gratuities that you pay for going to, being in a suite. Jeremy Hodgin, thank you for the super chat. Jeremy says, thanks for all you do going on Ovation of the Seas to Alaska in August. Is there a way to get a third chair, an ottoman, for our balcony room? Officially, no. You can ask, certainly, ask your stay attendant, hey, is there any way to get one? They might be able to help you, but it's very much going to be variable. It's almost your mileage may vary kind of situation. Let's see here. JC, thank you for the super chat. We're back up to the chats now that I have in our system. 20 days till Anthem. Wife and I have early dining in main dining room. Can we go to the My Time dining line if we don't want to rush getting ready after a busy port day? In my experience, the answer is yes. That is not an official policy. Like, it's not written down anywhere. But I have heard of people being able to do this, JC. So I think the answer is yes. Like in practice, even though it's not an official policy, I don't think they'll turn you away. I really don't think. You're gonna have to wait for a table, obviously. But yeah. I see Jen Green from MEI Travel is in the chat. I see our good friend Tony Diaz is here. Kristen Blanding is here. Amanda Hebert from or Herbert. I always forget, Amanda, how to pronounce your name. Is it French or has it been Americanized? Anyway, Amanda from MEI Travel is here. Hello, Amanda. Good to see you as well. Lots of great countdowns here. Sharon Stockman is here. It's good to see you, Sharon. Tommy in the chat as well. Smoky Bandit. Lots of good friends in here. Love that. Danette is here. Oh, fantastic. Speaking of good friends, Shoshana, thank you for the super chat. Lots of cruises booked. Husband may not be able to make one. Will I get double crown and anchor points if he's a no-show? It depends. I've gotten it both ways, Shoshana. Most recently, when I did this in November of last year, On Radiance of the Seas, I got double points. But there were a number of cruises in which I didn't get double points when my wife no-showed to the cruise. Actually, that happened on Icon. Hang on. Forget Radiance. That's so last year. I'm pretty sure I got double points on. Let me double check this before I say this. I should have gotten 21 points because I stayed in a suite because I thought my wife was going on the cruise with me. So I don't need to speak for just myself. Believe me. But I'm just going to double check that because I'm pretty sure I got. Oh my God, the website's being so slow. Don't they know I'm doing live? The bottom line, though, Shoshana, no matter what happened with me on Icon or not, it really does depend. It really, I've seen it go both ways. That's the thing, and it's they have not been consistent with it. I know that is shocking to hear Realtor being inconsistent with something. Of course, the login is not working at this time. It's just sitting there. Oh, there we go. I got it. All right. Past cruises. Did I get double points? Icon of the Seas. Where are you? Yes, I got 21 points on the inaugural sailing because I was by myself in a suite. So maybe it's a lame answer, Shoshana, but like I said, I've seen it both ways very recently. Jason Anchiles. Jason, thank you for the super chat. Got off Ovation recently. Does anyone realize the next cruise has a gravitational pull? First timer going on Oasis. Dude, you are not wrong about that. You can go into the cruise and be like, I'm not booking any cruises. I'm good. My schedule is set. I'm totally ready. And then you get on board that ship and then you just like, it's definitely a situation where you're like, you know, you can't help but being pulled over there. Yeah, you're not. It's not just you. Can you use WhatsApp in airplane mode to text back in the US? Only if you have a Wi-Fi package because it uses the internet. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Keep the great work, Matt, and thanks for recommending Jen Green. She's awesome. She is indeed awesome. Very bougie, very awesome. 297 days till back-to-back on Independence of the Seas. Woohoo! Love that. Next question is from Jessica Devoto. I have an excursion in Cozumel that requires a taxi up and back. How safe is that for a solo traveler? I mean, there are risks involved, Jessica. I can't promise you anything, but let me tell you something. Cozumel, in my opinion, in my experience, is one of the most reliable places to get a taxi. I've never had any issues. In fact, in the grand scheme of things that occur in wow, I think I just saw what I think I saw. In the grand scheme of Cozumel taxis and all that, like I've not heard of any horror stories. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I would say, Jessica, in the grand scheme of things, I think you're in a better situation right there. Brian Schiffman, you absolute legend. What? Dude, hold on. We're literally stopping this chat for a second. Timeout, TV timeout, hold the phone, call grandma from the living room. Dude, what? Like, first of all, it's your first super chat. Thank you. Second of all, that is way too generous. Like, I mean, there's generous and there is like, whatever you did, dude, my dude. Thank you so much. Holy smokes. I don't know what I've often said, like, I don't know, Brian the hero, like, I don't know what I can possibly do to make it up to you, like to give you that much value back. But dude, like, I mean, I can't do I'm not able to do what's it called? A gymnastic move. I can't do any gymnastics moves, but my goodness, I'm willing to risk life and limb to try a cartwheel on stream here. Dude, holy smokes. We'll get to this stream, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Brian Schiffman, guys. When you think of Brians, there are many Brians in this world, but only one is named Brian Schiffman. So when you're thinking of naming your children, make sure you think Brian Schiffman. Back to our regular scheduled program. Chris Moss, thank you for the super chat. 116 days till enchantment. I'm considering a side-to-side between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. Easy or challenging? Super easy. Just take a Lyft or Uber. Very simple. You will have no problems at all. It's very, very simple to do that. Let's see here. NYC Lover for Life. Have you tried the pre-cruise Ultimate Dining Package reservations, or do you know how it works? As far as I know, it's not available yet. I've asked Royal Caribbean about this, dude. They're basically saying they're working on it. It'll be out sometime this year. They're not sure exactly when. So no, I've not tried it yet because it's not available yet. But obviously, dude, when that's available, we're going to try that out immediately for sure. Naughty Towel Animal, what a great name. Thank you for the super chat. Looking for must-dos in Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. Aruba, I'm going to give a shout out to my good friends, Erica, Alexa, Samantha, and Kenny, I guess. They went to Baby Beach in Aruba and absolutely loved it. Bonaire, if you're into snorkeling at all, this is the place to do it. Curacao, Mambo Beach is what I would recommend. Renee Romero, thank you for the super chat. My mom uses a walker and wants to go on to Coco Key. What would be the best accessible location for her? Well, probably Oasis Lagoon, because she can go from the ship to Oasis Lagoon without any beach. It's all paved the entire way. Once you get to a beach, obviously you're into sand. Not that being said, Renee, there are complimentary beach wheelchairs you can use, but to answer your question most directly, it would be Oasis Lagoon, I would think, on that one. Once again, Brian Schiffman, my dude. I don't know what to say to you other than thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ben, thank you for the super chat. First time cruiser, wonder of the season, 6 days, 10:30 boarding time. What's the best way to make our limited dining reservations for Izumi and the other places? Just go straight to the restaurant as soon as you get on board the ship. That's what I would do, Ben. Get on board, go immediately deck 4 after the ship, right? Wonder, yep, and go straight to the restaurant. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Do not stop at your muster drill. Just go straight there and make the reservation. Bonnie wants to know, thank you for the super chat, Bonnie. 19 days till our first time on Odyssey. We know you love the pub as much as us. Do you have a favorite person serving the Odyssey pub? I don't have a server, but I do have a favorite performer. Brian James is the performer, the pub singer in the pub. He is worth the price of admission alone. To get in there, there is no price of admission. It's free. But he is fantastic. We love Brian. We featured him here on Royal Caribbean Blog a number of times. He's wonderful. He's going to be, word on the street is I think he might be on Utopia when that comes out, but that's beside the point. When you go on Odyssey, check out Brian in the pub and say, hey, tell him that Matt said hello. Mr. Two Swole, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, I'm going on Utopia of the Seas, August 26th. All the Izumi Apache is booked up on the site. Does that mean no walk-on dining? Not necessarily. I have definitely seen it where it's booked up online, but then you get on board the ship and there's still spots available. That being said, it's going to be a hot ticket. Always is a hot ticket. Get there early. Once again, Brian, good evening. Thank you. How you doing? Ronnie Bickers Jr. Ronnie, thank you for the super chat. Ronnie, oh, there's your message. I'm wondering if Harmony of the Seas ever changes to Floridian ports or perhaps Port Orleans. Port Orleans is a Disney resort, my friend. I think you mean New Orleans. Do they ever? Of course. There's always an ebb and a flow to the deployments that are out there, Ronnie. So, like, right now, Galveston. But she was literally in Florida her entire life up until that point. So it's going to happen sooner or later where she'll get to Florida. So absolutely. Yeah, no question about it. Answer that question. Pam wants to know, how is the entertainment on Icon? Really, really great. Wizard of Oz, must-see show. Make sure you do it right there. New and old Funko Pops. Thank you for the super chat. How many Royal Caribbean cruises have I been on? Oh, man, I just closed my tab. I think it's like 70 or 80. 83 past cruises. There you go. I'm up to 83 now. And thank you for the super chat. How many decks down is the end? How many decks down is the end of the slide? Our 10-year-old will be going down the slide. I think one of us should be waiting at the end. And that's not a problem actually, because on Mariner, when you go to the water slides, your son goes up the slide. Grandson, excuse me, goes up the slide. You stay right at the bottom. So this isn't like the Ultimate Abyss, like where you board on one deck and then it exits on another. You're all on the same thing. So as long as you're there where he boards, you're good to go. Next question is from, I'm trying to get as many questions as I can here. Lord, we have adventurous eaters. You think Wonderland Art Symphony will be a good experience? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Oh, I don't know why, Chris, I clicked on your message, but there you go. You made the thing right there. He meant $3. If you did really mean $3, I'm happy to give the money back. I mean, geez Louise. I don't know what to do. Like, what? I mean, what can I possibly do to make? Let's see a flip. Okay, I'll do a flip. Yeah, let's all see me die on stream over here. Holy moly. Let's see here. Michelle Stevenson. Michelle, thank you for the super chat. 440 days till a back-to-back on Voyager in the Mediterranean for 10th anniversary. How the heck do we start planning? Boy, great question. I mean, there's the you're way out. You're over a year out, so there isn't a whole lot to do. It's too early to book flights. You could maybe book a hotel. Not a bad idea. If I were you, the really important thing to be doing 440 days ahead of time is start researching what you want to do in the ports. You might not be able to book anything, but I would start an Excel spreadsheet and start putting in there, okay, on this day, we're thinking of doing this tour, and this tour. Basically have a game plan. So when you can book those things, bam, you're on the ball and you're good to go. I would say much closer, like once you get like less than a year out, which you're still 100 and some odd days away from that, but you get to like 270 days, you can start booking things. Flights you can book up to a year in advance and start that process. But I would say at this point, since you're so far out, there's very little to actually book. I would definitely say your best bet is to start researching shore excursions. And of course, watching quality videos here on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Helcio, thank you for the super chat. Cruise prices have skyrocketed lately, but the Crown and Anchor discounts for balconies remain the same. Do you remember the last time the discounts have been updated by how much? That's a really good point, dude. I never thought about that. Chat, keep me honest here. As far as I know, I don't ever remember them changing. As long as I've been doing Royal Caribbean Blog, I don't ever remember writing an article that said that's a really good point, actually, where I think Royal Caribbean is absolutely overdue for now, maybe they've been incrementally doing it and it's been quietly done. We do have some travel agents in the chat. Is anyone like, it just seems like my recollection has been the same forever, but I could be dead wrong on that. It's just one of those things, like I haven't written an article about it, so I don't think it's changed. That doesn't mean anything necessarily, but man, I hadn't thought about that before. Tony, will Utopia be using the same style elevators as Icon? We don't know that. We don't know yet. I suspect not, but we can hope. We can definitely hope. Suzanne, thank you for the super chat. 152 days to Liberty, and my son's first cruise will be 11 months. Planning our must-bring items. What are your top recommendations? Suzanne, everything you think you need for an 11-month-old. Pack double that amount. Diapers, formula. If they still drink formula at 11 months, I don't know. Baby food, like onesies. When on a cruise, for some reason, you go through way more clothes and baby supplies than you do at home. So whatever you think you need, double that number, because it's very hard to get refills on the ship or in port. Shoshana again with her second super chat. Thank you, Shoshana. Just a follow-up. Should I just take him off the reservation before final payment if the world of microships can't live without him? I want to make sure I don't lose out on double, triple points. If you can, without it changing the price, the problem is it can change the price. So, Shoshana, if you were to drop him from the reservation and it wouldn't change the price, sure, absolutely, why not? But if it does, then I would just leave him on there. It's better to save money than it is to get some extra Crown and Anchor points personally, but maybe you think otherwise. What hotel recommendations do you have for one night in Miami? Intercontinental, Doubletree, Biscayne Bay, and the Marriott Biscayne Bay. Doubletree, Biscayne Bay, Marriott Biscayne Bay, and of course the Intercontinental Hotel are fantastic. David Stanton went to Maya Chan last Wednesday. Thanks for the recommendation, dude. That place is amazing. I literally was looking at cruises like just to get to the Western Caribbean. I need Maya Chan in my life. Is the zip line worth it? I mean, it's free. Why not? Yeah, it's short, but the price is right. What's your favorite show on Odyssey? I think The Effectors. I think The Effectors would be my answer on that one. Gene Homan. Gene, thank you for the super chat. Doing an overnight in Aruba in January. Any suggestions on a neat overnight activity? Ooh. There's a number of casinos on Aruba. You might consider going to like a hotel, going out. I mean, going out to dinner is really what I would do. Going to one of these resorts and, maybe going to the casino, going for a night swim there. The problem is like resortforaday.com and those type places are literally for the day, not overnight. You could, if you were feeling like, hey, let's make it Tony Diaz rain over here, book a hotel and do that. I mean, it sounds crazy, but if you get a good rate, not the end of the world. I don't have a specific activity. One thing though we did, it's not overnight, but we did once upon a time, we did a sunset catamaran cruise in Aruba. That was a lot of fun and absolutely beautiful. So that's something else to consider. Have you ever eaten 2 dinners in one night? Come on. Is today Monday? Name the printer Brian Schiffman. He's earned it. Dude, I'm telling my wife, I need like a little label makers. It's the Brian Schiffman printer for sure. Excuse me. What is the best source of transportation from New York City to the Newark port with a group of 5 and all our luggage? Lyft or Uber. Do obviously Lyft or Uber XL. So you get the you can't do this in a regular one, right? You need an SUV. Do that. It's simple. It's easy. It works. There's nothing to go like. That's what I would do. We have, as I mentioned, Eric. Let me put this in perspective. When we're going on our cruise in June on Liberty of the Seas out of Cape Liberty in New Jersey, it's complicated us getting there. But after the cruise, when we're going to Manhattan, well, number one, Tony Diaz said he would not pick me up at the port. So I'm stuck. Like, can you believe that? I asked. He was like, no, I'm not picking you up, bro. I'm like, all right. So instead, what I'm going to do is what I'm recommending to you to do, Eric, which is to pull up the Lyft app, Lyft XL, and you should have no problems there. Next question. By the way, related to that transportation question, Jen Green or anyone from MEI Travel, does Black Diamond work in New York? Because I love them here down in Florida. They ain't cheap, but they're reliable. Brian wants to know, is a balcony room really worth the money? Me and my wife's first cruise. Listen, that's like one of the never-ending questions. There's not a right or wrong answer to this. There's a lot of opinions on it. If you get an inside room, you save a lot of money, but boy, is it nice having the extra space and the balcony. As a first-time cruiser, I would tell you, get the balcony. Now, if it's like 3 or 4 times the price of an inside, that's tough. But generally speaking, I think for a first-time cruiser, a balcony room is an affordable option. It offers a lot of space, good amenities. It's a good value in the grand scheme of things. I think it is worth it for a first-time cruiser, Brian. As you cruise more, you can then determine maybe you go for the inside room. But as a newbie, I would recommend it to you. And I know I said this earlier, but I do agree with you. Thank you again for the super chat. Yeah, the Brian Schiffman printer is a thing. Absolutely. On our recent sailing on Odyssey, early dining was moved to 5 p.m. Do you think this was set up 3 main dining times? Yes. Terry, I believe you maybe you read the article, but in the article where we announced and broke the news that there'll be a 3rd dining time, they are basically shifting the 2 times to make room for the 3rd. So yes, you're absolutely correct on that. Ready to go. Thank you for the super chat. I've done 3 Oasis class ships. The next one booked as Adventure. What's your favorite port on this for this smaller, older ship? Well, I don't know where you're going, but I'm going to say Cozumel. I mean, I love Cozumel. And Costa Maya even more. Lauren the Legend Lisco. Lauren, thank you for the super chat. Had too many lava flows last week and missed the live stream. Womp womp. Hope you enjoyed Wonder. I did. Odyssey was fantastic. Read so many negative comments before the trip, but we thought it was incredible all around. All right. Lauren, thank you for reminding me about this. Thank you for the super chat. I'm not yelling at you, Lauren. I'm yelling at everybody else because you, Lauren, can do no wrong. And I'm serious about that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Tony Diaz, do not read online reviews of cruises and base anything on them. Online reviews are notoriously skewed and unhelpful. You should never book a cruise based on an online review. It sounds crazy. You're like, well, why wouldn't you do that, Matt? Because people are irrational in their reviews. They're not. They let like little things harp and destroy the rest of the cruise. They give 1-star reviews for what should have been really like probably a 4-star at least. It's one thing if it's not 5-star. I get that, but people are not professional reviewers. The little things annoy them. They harp on things. They have different preferences than you have. I'm telling you this. It is one of the biggest mistakes that anyone can make is to rely on third-party reviews because the problem is everyone enjoys things differently. We have different budgets. We have different preferences. The classic example I always like to give is go look up negative reviews of your favorite movie or your favorite restaurant. And you're going to find people that you read it, you're like, did they see the same movie that I was on? And more to your point, Lauren, you could probably find negative reviews of the cruise that you were on. You're like, we were on the same ship. This guy is crazy. Yeah. Just ignore the online reviews for sure. Do you think Icon 3 will come to Galveston? I have no idea. wish I did, but I have no idea. Yeah, Odyssey was fantastic. Odyssey is a great ship. Absolutely. Next question is from favorite Star Class suite. Well, I mean, is money an object? If money's not an object, the Royal Loft Suite is really nice. I got to say that's a fantastic room to go into. If money, the best value is definitely the 2-bedroom Aqua Theater. Some of those prices can be really, relatively speaking, of course, lower than some of the other suites that are out there that are Star Class. But the Royal Loft Suite, which I've stayed in a couple times, the 2-bedroom Aqua Theater, which I've stayed in a couple times, those really stand out to me more so. Like the Ultimate, I've never stayed in the Ultimate Family Suite, but I think it's a little too kitschy for my taste personally. But again, the 2-bedroom Aqua Theater Suite is one of the best entry-level Star Class rooms you can get. And there's 2 separate bedrooms, which is fantastic for families. Not cheap, though. What to do in Seattle prior to the cruise? Of course, there's the Pike Street Market, where you can see the first Starbucks. It's a tourist trap, but you might as well see it. I'm trying to think we went to a number of museums. Some, like the Space Needle, was cool. The Museum of Pop was terrible. There's a Science Center, which isn't bad. You can go to a Mariners game. So it kind of depends on your preferences, again, kind of what you're into. But it's a city. There's a lot of different things you can see there. Not as much history necessarily as there is just interesting and fun things to do. But definitely the water side over there is really fun. Pam, do you think Royal Caribbean made a mistake of not having a dedicated solarium? I think on Icon, you mean. I know Hideaway, but not as big as much shade. I don't think they made a mistake. No. I think not every ship needs to be exactly like every other ship that's out there. And I think the indoor solarium is a nice option, but I don't think that you need to have a solarium experience to have a positive adult experience. I love the shade, Pam. I'm not a sun worshiper by any means. So I'm with you on that front, but I feel like the Cloud 17 still acts like a de facto adult only area. No kids are going up there. There's nothing to do up there. But I would say that I don't think it's a mistake. I would prefer more shade. That would be something that would be really helpful. But based on its popularity so far, I don't think they've made a mistake on it. Just maybe not your cup of tea, which is totally fine. I mean, we all have our preferences out there, right? Keone Jones, thank you for the super chat. 46 Days Navigator, first-time cruiser here, and your recommendations on Cabo excursions. Yes, Keone, you're going in 46 days. Let me do the math. I don't think that's whale season. Is it? If it is whale, I don't know. Look it up. But if it's humpback whale season, do book the tour. Like that, we did that in Cabo the first time we went there. And the first time we did that was in December/January. So I don't exactly know when the season is. But anyway, if that's the season, definitely do the whale watching. I was blown away by how amazing that was. It was really, really cool. Let's see here. Next question is from Scary. Scary Rich, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Do you or anyone in the chat know of any horseback excursions from a third party in Nassau? And Royal World doesn't offer one. Thanks as always. I don't know if our chat can back us up on this one. You know, Rich, my favorite places to recommend are, of course, Resort for a Day and Resort Pass. That doesn't help you because they don't offer that. What I would do the next stop is check out Viator.com, Viator. If I'm not mistaken, our good friends at MEI Travel recommend Viator.com, and they're reliable, and it's a good place to start with to look for things, but maybe someone in our chat has a specific recommendation for you. Ronnie, thanks again for the super chat. How many ports have overnight stays? There's Cozumel, there's Aruba, there's Bermuda. There's also, I think it's Cabo on some itineraries, not always. Those are the most common ones. Otherwise, they're rarer than anything else. But I would say my favorite, Cozumel would definitely be my favorite one. I mean, there's so much to do over there. I love that. But we're doing it overnight in Bermuda when we go in June. So I'm very excited to try that one out. Yeah, I agree with Annika, I think it's Annika. If it's in your budget as a first-time cruiser, balcony, absolutely. Cher, I'm planning on going on a Western Mediterranean cruise in June. I have not booked yet, and I have a few questions. Is it too late to book? No. I heard you cannot see much at the ports. I don't know what you mean by that. That's a very vague statement to make that you've heard. I think you'll be able, no matter which port you're going to, you're going to get a taste of what to do there. But I think you're going to find that you'll still have time to do the big stuff. It's not like look, it's not like you can't compare it to spending a week in, Italy, right? But it's a lot more manageable in a lot of cases, and it gives you a good taste for things, and maybe you come back later on for a different trip. But there's enough to at least see some of the major highlights. But just like any city you'd visit, share air. I think I called you something else earlier. Anyway, I apologize. You'll find, I think, that a cruise is a great way to explore these ports. Janet, thank you for the super chat. Going on Allure for the first time, only a 3-day cruise. Which specialty restaurants would you recommend? We've done Chops, Izumi, Giovanni's many times. Looking for something new. Number 1, 150 Central Park. Must do, number 1. Number 2 are 2 on your list. The other ones that are not on your list, I don't love as much. Izumi and Giovanni's are the 2 others I put on your list. So 150 Central Park, Izumi, and Giovanni's. Sabor is not what it used to be. And the one in Solarium Bistro, the Brazilian steakhouse, whatever that was, Samba Grill. I think I was very disappointed with it. It's not as good as land-based Brazilian restaurants. It was a bit disappointing, quite frankly. Johnny Rockets, no. So yeah, I would pick 150, Izumi, and Giovanni. I think those are the best 3. Gene, thank you again for the super chat. Going to try to hit both Diamond and Casino Prime on June. Send good vibes, dude. We had I wish you the best of vibes. I had some great luck in the casino on Wonder, and I've had some terrible luck before that. But man, I had some big. I had my first hand pay in the casino last week, which was amazing. Can you do a live with your other blog writers, Melanie? How are you? You know what's funny, Melanie? When we did our I think Angie's still in the chat, by the way. When we did our staff retreat, if you remember last January 23, we did a live stream here on our Monday, and I was in live from a vacation home we had rented in Fort Lauderdale, and the whole staff was there, and none of them wanted to be on camera. They all hate it, and that's just not their thing. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I wouldn't invite them to be on here for it. But we have done occasionally, Melanie, over on Cruise Blog, our other YouTube channel. We have done one where it's me and one of our other writers on there to talk about a specific topic. So, but it's some of them don't enjoy being on camera, especially the live stuff anyway. But it would be fun to do, absolutely. Let me get a drink of water here. Diane, say it again for the people in the back. Absolutely. Oh, the best part of the ship, not the best port. Don't. Sorry, my bad. I love the pub. There's the only Adventure has Izumi on the Royal Promenade. It's kind of neat. The only ship that has that, so I like that. And of course, the water slides. Sorry. Next question. If you need a ride to Manhattan, you can ride in the bed of my truck. I don't think the police would approve of it, though. Listen, that is more than Tony Diaz offered me. He didn't give me. I'm like, Tony, can you please give me a ride for me and my family? I got kids here. And he's like, bruh, I ain't helping you out. And he crossed his fingers, crossed his hands, whatever. And then, was just like, bleh. I was like, my goodness, Tony, how can you be so heartless, my friend? Just Tony. Aaron, thank you for the super chat. Now that you've been on Icon and back on Wonder, which do you prefer? As you probably most of you guessed, Icon. It really is Icon. Yeah. Hillary, thank you for the super chat. Went to Paradise Beach last week. Thanks for the recommendation. It was amazing. Nachos and a seltzer is the way to go. Dude, we do love Paradise Beach over here. Don't forget, use code RCBlog. Save 10% on your reservation. I don't get any money on that. We have a partnership, but it's just more of a like, hey, for our viewers, for you guys, my friends, RCBlog is the code, 10% off Paradise Beach. And we love that place. I've been going there for a decade, and it is over a decade. It's really, really good. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate the very kind words. I mean, listen, Lauren, I don't say this. I am not the arbiter of what the end all be all of what's good or bad. I'm just saying, like Facebook reviews, like people like you just can't. You can read reviews. You read them for entertainment. Maybe you pick up a little like tip here and there, like, hey, cool, that's a neat thing I didn't know about, or okay, that's something to think about for later on. But please don't base your choice in which ship you go on based on, someone's preference, one person's review, because they're probably completely off base. And that's okay, because that's their thoughts on it. It's their opinion. Where are they sending people instead of Labadee? Primarily Grand Turk. There's been exceptions, but primarily it seems like Grand Turk. Keith Bruce, when it comes to the new menu in the main dining room, which night is your favorite? Ooh, whichever night has French onion soup. I think Italian night and French night. Caribbean night, despite the name, actually the menu is very strong, as I recall. We're doing the main dining room for dinner on Liberty of the Seas coming up. My kids can't wait. They're so spoiled. But I love the main dining room, so I'm looking forward to that for sure. Let's see here. Ooh, Boeing plane. Yeah, in Seattle. Thank you for reminding me of that, Roy. That's a great tip right there for something to do in Seattle. The Boeing plant. Absolutely. Jeff Leonard with an amazing super chat. Woo! Holy moly. My dude. Overly generous. Way too generous. Hello, Matt. I've been out for a while. I'm now back. I'm on the Symphony in June and have an $800 onboard credit from Royal Caribbean. Don't know why. Don't question it. Just take it. If I change my room category, I do lose my onboard credit. You could. The thing what you want to do, Jeff, is talk to your travel agent, because how you got that $800, like if it's a promo, like let's assume, Jeff, you got $800 because of like a WOW sale, right? There's so many sales now, it doesn't matter. Anyway, if it's part of a promotion and you were to change rooms, you would reprice at the current rates and the current promotion, and then you would lose it. So yes, quite possibly. The only way you wouldn't lose it is if it's from Next Cruise, if it's from your travel agent directly, not from a promo, or if like Royal Caribbean for some reason gifted you, something like that. But if it's tied to a promo and they can look that up at your reservation currently, then you would lose that instead. So yeah, $800, dude. I don't care if it's the inside room, sharing with Tony Diaz, it's worth $800 for that one. Holy smokes. Heinz Adventures, first time here. Welcome. Good to have you here. K&M Charles, my wife and I are excited to be cruising with you in June. Nice. Hopefully we're on the same sailing. Elizabeth, first time going on Independence of the Seas. What do you recommend for someone who uses a scooter? And what's the entertainment like? Entertainment's great. Check out, Elizabeth, go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. In our main menu, there's a link that says Cruise Compass. Click on that and look at past cruise compasses from Independence. That'll give you a good idea of the shows and activities, things you can do on board the ship. Now, for what's it like, what do you recommend for someone that uses a scooter? I don't use a scooter, so I can't give you any first-hand recommendations. The other than, of course, you may already be doing this, but Royal Caribbean doesn't provide scooters. You must rent them on your own. So besides that, the other thing to consider, obviously, is a accessible cabin, a wheelchair accessible cabin, so you can get your scooter in and out. Otherwise, a standard cabin, you might not be able to get the scooter in easily anyway. Is there an 8 printer on the floor? What a great name. Is the 8-room discount worth the effort? It's not really a discount. So let me be clear on this. What printer on the floor is referring to is if you have 8 cabins, you can form a group with Royal Caribbean. And whoever is the tour leader, so in this case, that's you, that person gets a percentage of the value of those rooms. It's not that big. Don't get anything wrong here. Which you could then take that money and apply it towards your own reservation. And maybe you get a free room or maybe you get a discount on the room, right? Is it worth it? Yeah. I mean, number one, if you're going to do this, the reason why it's worth the effort is because it's going to be Jen Green's problem or Amanda from MEI Travel. As the travel agent is the one you want to work with. They're going to do all the work. All you're going to do is be like, here's my credit card. Here's my other friends' names and credit cards. That's it. And then you get to reap the benefits. So yeah, I think it's worth it. Mike Scudero. Mike, my friend, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you, Mike. But oh, there it is. I found it. Do you ever see Royal Caribbean ever adding another Western Caribbean stop that can accommodate the big ships? Royal and Costa Maya are not favorites in our house. I mean, the issue is not Royal Caribbean. The issue is where would you like them to go that's within the distance that you can go. There aren't other ports really. That's the problem. I mean Cancun, but I don't think they have a port there. Like you need a port. It's not a real Royal Caribbean can build a port. Well, except for Cancun, we'll take that out of the equation. I'm assuming they don't want cruise ships there because they want to right across basically from Cozumel. There's not like major centers over there that want it, or it's not easy. You can't just plop down a pier and call it a cruise port. Number one, the port itself needs to have the proper size, like it needs to be dredged, be able to accommodate. Like most ports are not naturally deep water port. So you need to dredge it, make it big enough so that ships can fill. There's a huge amount of investment, approval by the local government, et cetera. It's not an easy task, what I'm trying to say. And beyond that, there aren't a lot of other just options out there. That's one of the issues here. So I think, and beyond that, Royal Caribbean just announced that they're building a beach club in Cozumel. So I think any hopes, if you had any, that they were going to build like Perfect Day in somewhere in Mexico, probably not happening. So I would say ever is a strong word, because ever means between now and the end of time. So yeah, sure, maybe, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think there's a lot of just logistical realities that are facing. It is an inconvenient truth of cruising for sure. Let's see here. Next question. Hey, Chantel, how are you? Welcome. Oh, Tony, you're off. I'm just joking, Tony. I don't need to write from you, but I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that. Even though you're not going on, even though you ignored my message about going on the cruise with me, I appreciate you, buddy. No, we'll be okay. I just wanted to, for Teresa, just for the laughs. I love Mariner of the Seas. I love Mariner. Julia, thank you for the super chat. I took my very first cruise on Mariner in June. What's a must do on the ship? The water slides. You've got to see the Playmakers is fantastic. I really like that venue quite a bit. And there's something else I'm forgetting. Water slides, Playmakers. The ice skating show. That's what it is. I love the ice skating show on Mariner. Really, really good. Rajdeep, thank you for the super chat. First cruise on Freedom in 15 days. Planning to not buy any add-ons. Will we survive? Yeah. You'll have a great time. Listen, it's very enticing to go buy your drink package and this and the. You can have a great cruise without it. Trust me, you really can. I really don't think you should look at that as a negative, or you're like, oh gosh, we're gonna suffer. I think you'll have a great time without it. You'll save a lot of money. Hopefully, more money to pay for another cruise. Ronnie, again with the super chat. Ronnie, thank you again for the super chat. All future amplification should include the Icon elevators. Wouldn't that be awesome? I would love that. Hey, Tom, have you ever thought about cruising as a solo Royal Caribbean traveler? Oh, I've done it many times, Tom. And I've written about it and done other things about it. Last year I already did a solo cruise this year on Icon. And I took at least 3 or 4 cruises solo last year. Radiance, in Anthem in Europe. There were others I can't think of off the top of my head. I think did Brilliance maybe. Anyway, yeah, I know I've done it many, many times. I mean, it's more I mostly cruise solo out of necessity. I'd much rather have my family with me, or at least my wife. But yes, no, I've definitely done that. So absolutely. Lauren, yeah, so articles in Royal Caribbean blog, could the date they are published be included? They are. It's clearly, and I appreciate this, the feedback. On mobile, on your phone, you don't see it, but on a computer, you would see it there. That being said, we are way, way, way overdue for a website refresh there, which is in the works, I hope. Sergio, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for recommending Aqua 80s on Oasis, heading to the Norwegian fjords on Anthem 88 days, and recommendations for that ship. The show's in 270. Definitely check them out. They're really, really good. And I'm very jealous they're going to Norway on Anthem. I did that cruise last year and loved it. It was so good. We're doing that cruise next year on Independence of the Seas with my very good friend, Kenny Cookinyo Liquinco and friends. And I'm very much looking forward to that cruise. That itinerary is fantastic. Enjoy it, my friend. Let's see here. Watching you're back with you on next year on Royal Caribbean Blog Group Cruise. Woohoo! Awesome. When is the Royal Caribbean Blog Group Cruise to Alaska? Unfortunately, we have nothing on the books, Jules. Maybe in 2026 or something like that. You never know. I'm an Italian American and a pretty good cook. How's the food on Italian night? Will I be wishing I was eating sushi? I mean, look, I'm not pretending. I'm not going to pretend that the Italian food is as good as your mother used to make it. It's not I'm not pretending it's going to be that good. To that level. I don't know what your preferences are, quite frankly. I can tell you, for what it's worth, that one of our writers here, Jenna, who's also our YouTube video editor. She is Italian American, and she doesn't mind. She never really complained to me openly that the food was absolutely terrible. It's, I think it's passable. It's like, listen, I'm not going to oversell it here. I'm not going to make it, oh yeah, it'll be great. I mean, I enjoy it for what it is. It's not bad. Let's put it that way. Maybe not the greatest in the world by any means, but not bad either. Chanel, thank you for the super chat. Going on Liberty in April, do they still do cigars under the stars at the Night on the Sky bar? I'm not sure. You know, Chanel, one of these, this is why I'm going to turn this around and give you a little bit of homework here. If you can check out past cruise compasses over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, you can look it up on the cruise compasses from past Liberty cruises if they still offer that there. I'm not familiar with it. Like, I've not been on Liberty since January of last year. And I don't smoke cigars, so I wouldn't have been looking for the event. But anyway, my point is that look at a past cruise compass, and if they're still offering it on those, there's a decent chance they'll offer it on yours too, but no promises. What do you think of some ships having a deck 13 while others don't? I'm not superstitious like that, so I don't really care. Next question. The Teresa McChain. You skipped my super chat. My name isn't Tony Diaz. I did? Hold on a second. This can't be right. I'm going back. Teresa. Oh, I did. Sorry, Teresa. What do you do with your friend that you keep inviting to join you on a cruise and they just ignore your invite? You know, where is that message in here? How did I miss that one? Because that one was one I could. Sergio. Where is it? Dude, I found it. Okay, there it is. Way up here. You shake your head and you say to yourself, oh, Tony, when will he learn? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you times 2, by the way. Next question. Is the casino open on overnights stays at the port? It depends on the port, Tony. Depends on the arrangement that Royal Caribbean has with the port. So it just depends on that one. It's not a general rule. Tropical Ken, unfortunately, Zone 0 is it's kaput. Unfortunately, there were a lot of technical issues with it, and they just decided to kick it to the curb, unfortunately. How does Symphony of the Seas compare to Oasis? Very comparable, actually. They're very similar. I like the Aqua Show on Oasis better because it's Aqua 80s, but but then again, Symphony has Grease, the Broadway Hairspray, the Broadway musical, whereas Oasis has Cats. Symphony is much better in that regard. So, but they're very comparable. Like, a lot of the features are very similar on there. Have you ever met Super Mario? Yes, he is a lovely man to talk to. Really, really nice. Next question. We are cruising on Quantum in 3 weeks. We have an overnight stay in Kona. Do you know how late the tenders run? We love to swim with the manta rays. I don't. One thing you could do, Heidi, when you obviously you'll be able to see in your itinerary the times you're in port. Usually the last tender, it depends on the port, but usually the last tender is like, it won't be half an hour before, but it really depends on the port. But figure an hour or so before that end time would be what I would plan on there. Teresa, love all your content. Curious, are you a travel planner agent? If not, I'm not. Do you have any companies or agencies you'd recommend and why? Yes, MEI Travel. I use MEI Travel, Teresa. I use them. I recommend them to my family and friends. My mother uses them. That's all you need to know. They're fantastic. I've been using them for a very, very long time. And thank you for the super chat, Teresa. Appreciate you. Thank you. Hey, Carrie, do you think the Brightline Cocoa station will be a viable option for those flying to Orlando and cruising from Port Canaveral, or would you still Lyft or Uber? I don't remember exactly. It's not like, unfortunately, the station is not like in Port Canaveral. It's going to be in Cocoa, which is a heck of a lot closer to Orlando. I would say this, Carrie. If you're following my advice and you are taking the train, you're flying in the day before the cruise and then taking the train over, that'll be no problem at all. I think that would work out really, really, really well, quite frankly. I would not advise, and I think you already know this, Carrie, don't fly the same day of your cruise. But so from that standpoint, sure. What happened on your blinds? I got mad. No. I tried to open them and I failed miserably. Adam saying, by the way, for the Italian food, skip the lasagna, get the chicken parm and tiramisu. Yeah, the chicken parm in the main dining room is pretty darn solid. I got to agree on that one. What is a good bar to hang out with a party of 12 on Wonder 48 days out? This sounds like a Warren at Sea situation developing. Party of 12 on Wonder. You need a big venue. Playmakers is actually a really good bar for this. I would say Playmakers or the upper deck on deck 16, Lime and Coconut. Is a balcony guarantee an indoor cabin with a virtual balcony? No. It would be a virtual balcony is an inside room, so you don't have to worry about that. Nobody plans on going to Spectrum. I'd like to, but I have no plans to. Thoughts on Adventure? Or AOS could be Adventure, Allure, Anthem. Anyway, they're all good. My thoughts are, no matter which one it is, definitely worth going on. What would you recommend is a must-do thing on Wonder of the Seas? Oh, man. The shows are fantastic, whether it's the ice skating show, Aqua Theater, Effectors, Voices. If you haven't seen them yet, check them out. That's definitely a must-do on there. The water slides are a lot of fun. I definitely recommend giving those a try. Am I forgetting something obvious? Mason Jar. That's the obvious one. Go to the Mason Jar bar. The restaurant's good, but go to the bar, take in the entertainment in the evening when the band is there. Really, really good. Ed, thank you for the super chat. Is it worth doing an inaugural cruise? Was thinking of trying on Utopia. It can be. With an inaugural cruise, it's not a slam dunk. Yes, you should try it. There are some caveats. Number one, an inaugural cruise is fun because it's a big party. A lot of people on there, not Tony Diaz. He can't be bothered to join his friends on these. But, a lot of big-time cruisers go on these sailings because it's a party. It's like homecoming and prom put together. It's really a lot of fun. The problem the problem with inaugurals is all the entertainment may not be available. All the venues may not be available. As an example, when we were on Icon for her inaugural, the escape room wasn't available. Not all the shows were ready. The Aqua Theater show was definitely not ready. It was a preview of it, right? Wizard of Oz was ready though. So there can be some things that are not quite there yet. But really, to book an inaugural cruise, you're going there primarily for the satisfaction, for the bragging rights to say, I was there. And if that's important to you, then yeah, it's definitely worthwhile. The chicken parm in the main dining room is really good, Amanda. I agree with you on that one. Next question. Ooh, you missed one of the best features of the Mariner of the Bamboo Room. You're not wrong on that. Yeah, that is really, really good. Just finished our first cruise. Thanks for all the tips and videos. James, which ship? What did you love about it? That's awesome, dude. And did you book another one? That's also important. Is the chicken parm secret sandwich still available at Coco Key? Yes, I had it last week, a week ago today. Man, I could go for one right now. How are the waves in February, Western Caribbean? Unfortunately, that question is like me asking Mandy, if I come to visit you at your house a year from now, next March, will it rain? And of course you say, Matt, that's silly. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who knows? Same thing with the waves. It could be super flat. It could be rocky. There is no guarantee any time of the year that you won't have waves or motion in the ocean. And by the way, if anyone out there is saying, well, don't go on hurricane season because that's the time that you can have them. You can have very calm season, hurricane season. My point is that it really varies. It really runs the gamut. And so there's no telling, quite frankly, Mandy. I know that doesn't put your mind at ease, but I got to be real with you. What's the Broadway show on Anthem? It's actually not a Broadway show. It's a West End show. We will rock you. Are there any videos of Utopia? No, because they're not out yet. You can't get the ship's literally under construction still, but we'll have one when the ship is ready. Is Hooked an all-you-can-eat restaurant? Yes, it is. When you book your transport from Royal Caribbean Airport to Cruiseport, when is that charged? I saw no email nor anything in the app. It should be tied to your final payment, quite frankly. Let's see here. Would I be able to use any cash on board? Yes. I mean, you can deposit it into your account. Like you go to guest service and be like, hey, here's $300 deposit, and then charge it with your CPAS. You can't directly use it. You can't go to the store and buy something and give them the money, but you can put on your as a credit against your account, if that makes sense. And last question of the day is from Ryan Anthony Franklin. Hi, first timer help. I'm trying to plan a trip for 5 and I'm having the hardest time finding rooms that'll work for us. Number one, if you haven't done this already, work with a good travel agent. MEI Travel is fantastic. It's who I recommend and use. And I'm telling you this, like, dude, when I say they're going to help, like, I mean, it's going to save your sanity like times 1,000 and probably save you some money. Like, just that's like number one. Use a good travel agent. MEI Travel is who I recommend. Number two, stop looking for a room for 5 people. That's your mistake. And I said, what are you talking about, Matt? What? There are very few rooms that can accommodate 5 to begin with, and most of them are super pricey. Instead, book 2 connecting rooms instead. Well, isn't that crazy expensive? Actually, not, especially compared to suites. It's actually a very affordable option. We do this all the time. So book 2 people in one room, 3 people in another room. Look for connecting cabins. That's the way to go. It's much more affordable. It's reasonable, and you're going to find a lot better options there. So yeah, travel agent, and then ask your travel agent for 2 connecting rooms. That is the play, my friend. On that note, guys, we have run out of time here this evening. Thank you so much for joining us here. We had some amazing super chatters and Brian Schiffman, but my goodness, you guys were absolutely amazing. Like, I don't know what I can say other than like thank you times 1,000. Like, dude. Ed, thank you. Teresa Turner, thank you. Teresa McShane, thank you times 2. Chanel Moore, thank you. Sergio, Ronnie, Rajip, Julia, Mike Scudero, Jeff Leonard, my dude. Thank you so much for your generosity. Good to see you back, my friend. Hillary, Aaron Ross, Gene, Janet, Ronnie again, Scary, Keone, Lauren, Legend, Lisco, ready to go. New and old Funko Pop, Gene again, Shoshana again, thank you. Suzanne, thank you. Helsio, Michelle and Whipple, new and old Funko again, thank you. Michael Ryan, Ronnie again, Mr. Too Swole, Bonnie, thank you. Ben Jang, thank you. Brian Schiffman, my dude. Like, I don't know what else to say, but thank you. This broadcast brought to you by Brian Schiffman. Like, wowie, wow. Thank you. Renee Romero, thank you. Naughty Towel Animal, Chris Moss, Jessica Devoto, Chris Stell, Jason Anchiles, Shoshana again, thank you. JC, thank you. Jeremy Hodgen, Michael Bond, MJ, and Tyler Jones. You guys, absolutely amazing support. Like, I don't deserve this level of support. I deserve like kick in the pants sometimes, but wow. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you guys. And we'll be back again next Monday right here on YouTube. Yeah, we'll be back again every Monday right here hanging out with you guys. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Stay safe out there. Do something fun. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.